The mark of the beast system begins in the United States today. Chapter 13 of Revelation, verse 15 to 17, that in order for the mark of the beast to be enforced, they must regulate who can buy and who can sell, who can travel, who is compliant and who is non-compliant. They must have a system in place to monitor, surveil, to give access to those who are compliant and to block access to those who are non-compliant. And that system is the digital-only society.
Next, sir, we have an executive order for your attention relating actually to government payments. This is an executive order that's going to push the Treasury Department to modernize its payment system to ensure that where possible they're using electronic methods of payment as opposed to paper checks in order to reduce waste, fraud, and abuse in the government.
Many of these things should have taken place decades ago.
WhiteHouse.gov fact sheet. President Donald J. Trump modernizes payments to and from America's bank account. The order mandates that, effective September 30th, 2025, the federal government will cease issuing paper checks for all disbursements, including intragovernmental payments, benefits, vendor payments, debit/credit card payments, digital wallets, and real-time.
That system is the digital-only society. Digital IDs, CBDC, stable coins, and cryptocurrency. A digital-only society is here. Are we ready for this?
We are going to put a lot of thought into the stablecoin regime, and as President Trump has directed, we are going to keep the U.S. the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use stablecoins to do that. Thank you.
And then roll out a digital-only society. That was March 2025. The deadline is September 30, 2025. It's a digital payment system. CBDC, stablecoins, crypto, the stage is set. Now they can monitor, now they can surveil. Do you remember, dear friends? In Mark 12 verse 13 to 17, it was Jesus addressing the issue of taxes, and he hold up a coin, addressing a coin, a crisis surrounding a coin. Just like now in Trump, a stable coin. And Christ used that coin to teach a biblical lesson. And that is, what is the lesson? And that is the church and state must be separate. The Bible does not teach Christian nationalism.
86 million bank accounts. Jim Rickards was on talking with Danielle Kimbone, and she was saying that, like, because they want to move Vietnam to a mandatory biometric ID system, and they would freeze these accounts as sort of a model, a sort of a trial run for a centralized digital control. And I think you're going to see that across Asia. We're already seeing, obviously, in parts of, in China as well. So can you talk about this? So this Vietnam just says, hey, 86 million bank accounts frozen. We're moving you to this new system.
Regulation and biometric digital identification systems, which, due to the nature of these stablecoins being on public blockchains, these open databases that anyone can access, if you have connected biometrics and digital IDs associated with your wallet addresses and with your ins and outs of this new digital economy, you now suddenly have this great ability to track, really warrantlessly surveil anybody using these rails, and have a better chance of keeping people within the system and within your local currency. So
what I see personally is that their end goal is that we won't have any tangible asset to transact with. Everything is going to be digital. That is where things are heading now. And now, with just a flick of a switch, they can leave you penniless.
For mass capital flight. So we're going to see everywhere including the United States, I'm sure, of course, because they also want to make sure they know where their citizens' money's going. Really starting to see this first rolled out in the global south, in the Eurozone, in the UK, a very sudden restriction on how much you can own and what sort of ID you have to put up and give to the governing bodies to be able to, play in these regulatory.
The Pope of Rome and the United Nations is working together. First, the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Look at those 17 goals and what is number 1? Digital IDs is number 1. Link with bank or mobile money accounts that can improve the delivery of social protection coverage and serve to better reach eligible beneficiaries. Digital technologies may help to reduce leakage, errors, and costs in the design of social protection programs. The papacy, the Antichrist, peddles the global movement for cashless society. Why? And this movement is coming from the Pope of Rome. The 7-year journey to total sustainability. The Pope says, post the pandemic, it's time to roll out a digital-only society. That is the end goal of the Papal Antichrist. The IMF is on board with the papacy. We're here. It officially begins in 2030, and the end goal is slavery. You don't believe, dear friends? Who are the merchants of Babylon? In chapter 18 and verse 11 to 13. The papacy, the backbone of slave trade. Americans traveling to most of Europe will have fingerprint scan under new regulations set to take effect September 25, 2025. The new system will be introduced gradually over roughly a 6-month period starting October 12, 2025. It will eventually replace passport stamps. According to the EU, passports will become obsolete. It's now a biometric system. So friends, I invite you to just think outside the box and dive deeper into what prophecy is saying. When we say biometric, we're speaking about our eyes and our fingers, which is in our hands. Where are our eyes? In your head. Where would the mark of the beast be placed? It's about worship. Placed on the forehead where we make decisions. How about the fingers? It's in the hands. Where would the mark of the beast be placed again? That tyrannical system? In our hands. That represents our compliance. Now, of course, it's not something tangible like a physical tattoo or some QR code in our forehead or some tattoo in our hand. In your head, because you believe them. In your hands, because you're willing to compromise and to go along with it. In order to transact or travel. The mark of the beast doesn't only comprise of digital ID, digital currency, surveillance, monitoring. It also includes labeling God's commandment people as national threats. You don't believe me, dear friends? Great Controversy 591. Those who honor the Bible's Sabbath will be denounced as enemies of law and order. Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world." While people today are seeking earthly riches, we seek to live with Jesus for eternity. Jesus taught us to invest and lay up treasures in heaven. The truth of the Bible must not be silenced, dear friends. Even one will be denounced as enemy of the law. But let us make decisions today to have unwavering faith and preach the three angels' message. Here is our appeal and prayer, dear friends. Kindly type in the comment section, "Lord, increase my faith." Thank you, dearest friends. Kindly share and continue to preach truth found in Bible prophecy.